Spring arrived slowly, transforming the city from gray and cold to green and alive. Elias had been in the city for almost a year now, and when he looked back at the person he'd been when he first arrived, lost, uncertain, carrying so much weight, he barely recognized himself. He'd grown, not just as a writer, but as a person. He'd learned to ask for help when he needed it, to accept kindness from strangers, to build a life piece by piece without a blueprint to follow. He'd made friends, other writers, artists, the regular customers at the bookstore. He'd created a community for himself, something he'd never had at the Lighthouse. In late April, he received a phone call from his father. Thomas's voice was excited, almost boyish in its enthusiasm. "Elias, you need to come visit. I have something to show you." "What is it?" "It's a surprise. Can you come this weekend?" Elias smiled. "Of course, Dad. I'll catch the Friday bus." The journey back to the coastal town felt different this time. Instead of escaping something, he was returning to it with new eyes. When the bus pulled into the familiar station, his father was waiting on the platform, and Elias almost didn't recognize him. Thomas looked healthy. He'd gained weight, his skin had color, and he was smiling, genuinely smiling. He wore gardening clothes, dirt smudged on his knees and hands, and he looked more alive than Elias had ever seen him. They embraced, and Thomas held his son tightly. "It's good to see you, Elias. God, it's good to see you." "You look amazing, Dad. What's your secret?" Thomas grinned. "Come on, I'll show you." They drove to Thomas's cottage, and when they pulled up, Elias's breath caught. The small patch of earth in front of the house had been transformed into a thriving garden. There were vegetables in neat rows, flowering plants adding splashes of color, a small greenhouse in one corner. It was beautiful and alive and so completely unexpected that Elias laughed out loud. "You did all this?" he asked. "With some help from the neighbors," Thomas admitted. "Turns out there's a whole community of gardeners in this town. They've been teaching me, being patient with my mistakes. I've learned more about life from watching things grow than I did in all those years at the Lighthouse." That weekend with his father was one of the best of Elias's life. They worked in the garden together, Thomas teaching him about soil and seeds and the patience required to nurture living things. They cooked meals together, fresh vegetables from the garden, fish from the local market. They took walks through the town, and Elias met his father's new friends, saw how Thomas had woven himself into this community. One evening, they sat on the porch watching the sunset, the distant sound of waves reminding them both of where they'd come from. "I'm sorry, Elias," Thomas said suddenly, "for all those years I wasted, for all the time we could have had together if I'd been braver, if I'd been stronger." "Dad, we've been through this." "I know, but I need to say it one more time. And I need you to know that watching you build your life, watching you pursue your writing, it's taught me something important. It's never too late to start over. It's never too late to choose life over grief, hope over despair. You taught me that." Elias felt tears pricking his eyes. "You taught me too. You taught me that healing is possible, that forgiveness of others and ourselves is how we move forward." They sat in comfortable silence for a while, and then Thomas asked, "Will you read me something you've written? I'd like to hear your words in your voice." So Elias retrieved his notebook from his bag and read his father a chapter from the novella he was working on. It was about a man who tended a lighthouse and a son who wanted to sail the world, and how they both had to let go of each other to find themselves. As he read, he could see his father's eyes glistening, could see the emotions playing across his face: recognition, regret, pride, love. When he finished, Thomas was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, "That's beautiful, Elias. That's truth on the page. Your mother would have loved it. I'm writing it for both of you. Everything I write is partly for both of you. The parts that are about pain and loss and grief, those are my way of understanding what happened to our family. But the parts about hope and healing and new beginnings, those are my way of honoring what we've become.